Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us here today in our webinar. We're very excited to be talking about IQ Hub. I know that there's been kind of some confusion around the name, so just going to kind of clarify that right now. Official name of this product is the IQ4 Hub. We will refer to it as the IQ Hub. So that's kind of what we're going to be talking about today. But before we jump into any of that, and before I introduce this great panel of guests I have here with me, wanted to take care of a few housekeeping items. So first and foremost, if you're new to GoToWebinar, take a minute right now to get familiar with the software. There is options to kind of change the sizes of the screens. You know, we will be sharing the screen and presenting a PowerPoint. We also have our cameras on, so you can kind of change the size of the screens to fit your need. If you don't want to see our ugly mugs that much, you can kind of just swipe us away, or you can keep us front and center. As well as getting kind of familiar with GoToWebinar, find the question section. So there's a chat and question section here in GoToWebinar. Throw a question in there. Let us know where you're calling in from. We want to know where our guests are at. We want to hear where you're calling in from. I am in Utah. Mike and Hiram, where you guys are in Texas, right?
Correct.
Good old Texas boys. And Johnny, where are you calling in from?
The great state of Rhode Island on the East Coast.
Who knows where that? I've never heard of that place. That's a state. It seems kind of small.
Rhode Island. It's not New York. It's its own thing. Yes.
You got Johnny from Rhode Island. Cool. So we got people coming in the chat. We got Pete from Wisconsin, Mike from Orange County, California, Siggy from Las Vegas. Siggy, thanks for being here. We love you. Thanks for stopping by, Siggy. We got, I don't know if I'm going to pronounce this name right, Benoit from Quebec. Sorry if I murdered that. I don't speak French. We've got a Nicole with alarm.com. Awesome. Thanks for joining us. Adam from North Carolina. Dean from Massachusetts. We got Mark from Bowling Green, Kentucky. We got lots of people calling in. So thank you guys for, you know, getting in that question section and getting kind of familiar with GoToWebinar. We appreciate you guys being here. We know that your time is important. We value the time of our partners, and we hope that you guys will take something away today. Another housekeeping item, just want to let everybody know on this call that this webinar is being recorded. So if you need to reference anything that we say in this webinar, we'll record it and I'll upload it to YouTube shortly after. And then if somebody on your team wasn't able to make it into the call today, you can send them that link and they can kind of view the webinar at their leisure. So I think I got all the housekeeping items out of the way. So we've got a couple polls today. So I'm going to do something a little bit different. So we're going to give away a panel at the end of this broadcast. Mike's going to help me pick a winner for that. But I'm gonna do another kind of prize giveaway. So we've got more polls than we typically do. So if you answer every single poll that we ask today, we're gonna enter all of those names into kind of a drawing, and we'll give a prize away to that person as well. So please participate in these polls. Polls are very important. It's how we know where you guys are at and how we can provide content that's relevant to you and helps you in your business. So first question I have for you guys is kind of an opinion question. So let's launch this poll. So we're trying to understand how you guys would feel about a podcast, a bi-weekly podcast. So the question here is, I would enjoy a 15 to 20 minute bi-weekly sales and marketing podcast. So let us know if that's something you would be interested in. We want to continue to do webinars, but we're looking for other ways to kind of present media to you guys that would be beneficial and easier to consume. You know, if you're a technician out installing, we want to make it so it's as easy as possible to kind of consume this content. So I'll give you guys just another 20 seconds here to vote. Remember, if you vote in all of the polls, we're going to go back and pull the report, and everybody that votes in all of the polls will be entered in to win a prize. And myself and Will Hackett, we will coordinate that after this and get the winner here. So just 10 more seconds to answer this poll. All righty, so we've got some strongly agrees, some somewhat agrees. We got a good variety. So thank you guys so much for participating in that poll. I'm going to close that one. I got two more polls coming at you right now. So this first product is, we want to know if you are currently installing JCI Qualsys products. We want to know if you're new here or if you're a veteran coming back and watching another one of our webinars. Awesome. Give you guys another 20 seconds here. Okay, right. We'll wrap that one up. Thank you guys all so much for participating in that poll. We got one more here, and then we'll kind of move on a little bit. So we want to know which products are you currently installing, and you can select as many as you'd like. You can select all 3 or 4 if you'd like. So are you installing the IQ Panel 4, installing our first generation of the IQ Hub, are you installing DSC Neo, and if you're installing something else, go ahead and throw that in the chat so we know kind of what you're installing. Awesome, got a lot of DSC Neos, a lot of IQ Panel 4s. That's what we kind of expected. All righty, give you another 5 seconds here to wrap up this poll. Awesome, awesome. Thank you guys all so much for that participation. We're gonna have a couple more polls throughout the webinar. So we're just gonna kind of dive in here. So before we talk IQ Hub, and I introduce my great panel here. Oh, this does not want to change slides. I want to talk about something I'm so excited about, and that is IQ Wi-Fi 6. So most of you in this call yesterday probably received our press release talking about IQ Wi-Fi 6. IQ Wi-Fi 6 is available. You can go to distribution, you can start placing orders, and this is something we are extremely excited about. And if you haven't read this press release, you can just go to qualsys.com, scroll down to the bottom, and there's a little section called Newsroom. Just click on that and you'll be able to see the press release, read all about IQ Wi-Fi 6. We've done a few webinars about this. We've talked about at length about IQ Wi-Fi 6, but we're so excited that it's finally here. So I just want, before we jump into anything hub related, I wanted to just briefly talk about IQ Wi-Fi 6, what it is, just in case you're new to hearing about IQ Wi-Fi 6. So the biggest thing that we wanted to do with IQ Wi-Fi 6 is provide a product that's reduced your truck rolls. So we listened to you guys, our partners, our dealers, and you told us that a lot of the reasons you're rolling trucks was for Wi-Fi related issues because cameras were falling offline, remotes are falling offline. So we created this product, IQ Wi-Fi 6, to try and eliminate those truck rolls or reduce them. And so the first kind of, the main point with IQ Wi-Fi 6 is this alarm.com integration. So with that on your back end, you'll be able to see the status of your customers' networks. You'll be able to see kind of the devices and things like that, and you'll be able to reboot it remotely. So how many times have you had a network issue and just unplugging the router and plugging it back in solved the problem? It's crazy how often that happens. So with this alarm.com integration, we tried to provide a way for you guys to not have to roll a truck, to be able to remotely reboot a router and solve those issues. So we're hoping that will help reduce truck rolls on your end. The next thing is it integrates beautifully with IQ Panel. I absolutely love this feature. And the reason I love it is because on the IQ Panel, you have this beautiful UI that shows you kind of the status of your network, the devices that are connected. And the coolest thing is there's a QR code for your guest network. So I don't know how many times I've been at a family member's house or a friend's house, and they try and give me their 37 long character Wi-Fi password, and I mess up, and I got to go back and re-enter it. We're eliminating that with this integration with the IQ Panel. Your friends or family can literally scan the QR code on the panel. They'll be able to get connected to the guest network. They'll be on that guest network. They won't be able to access any information on your internet. It's awesome. And the next kind of point here is this can hang with the big dogs, right? This can hang with the big names. IQ Wi-Fi 6 has got speed, the coverage, and the mesh abilities. So you have up to a gigabit of download speed, and each node covers about 1,500 square feet, and you can add up to 8 nodes in a system, so you can cover huge spaces with IQ Wi-Fi 6. Easy to install, plug and play. You plug it in, you let it download some updates, and then it's ready to rock. And this next feature, the Wi-Fi partition, is pretty cool. You have 3 separate networks. You plug that bad boy in, and then there's a network for your security devices, a main network, and a guest network. It just automatically happens. You don't have to do anything about it. And then that allows you to have kind of separate networks for separate devices. So you can ensure your customers' cameras and their security devices are going to have a dedicated network and have all the coverage that they need. And the last kind of point we're talking about here is you can run IQ Wi-Fi 6 independent, or you can run it parallel. So I'm running mine parallel, so I have it plugged in, and it's all of my security devices are on my IQ Wi-Fi 6 unit. And if you don't want to do that, you can run it independent, and that can be the network for the entire home. So a lot of flexibility to do the things that you need to do, a lot of flexibility for whatever situation you may find with your customers. And that is IQ Wi-Fi 6. It's ready to go. We want you guys to go to distribution and say I want one of these. So I've got 3 polls really quick for IQ Wi-Fi 6, or 2 of them. So this is another kind of opinion question here. So I plan on installing IQ Wi-Fi 6. Do you strongly agree, somewhat agree, neither agree nor disagree, somewhat disagree, or strongly disagree? We got kind of a split here between strongly, somewhat, and neither agree nor disagree. And if you're answering, we've got quite a few neither agree nor disagree answers here. Throw in the chat what your kind of hesitations or reservations are with IQ Wi-Fi 6, if you wouldn't mind. Awesome. We'll wrap this poll up here. And then last question regarding IQ Wi-Fi 6. Which of the following IQ Wi-Fi 6 features are most appealing? And you can go ahead and choose all that apply. Is it that alarm.com integration? Is it the integration with the IQ panel? Is it that it has the speed, the coverage, and the mesh? Is it that it's easy to install, or the Wi-Fi partitions? A lot of people are excited about the alarm.com integration. I'm excited about that as well. Great, let's give you guys another couple seconds here to finish those poll questions. Great, thank you guys all so much for participating in those polls. Now we'll take a little break from the polls, and we'll take a little break from IQ Wi-Fi 6, and we'll dive into Hub, what most of you came here for. So these amazing people that I have here on the panel, we're going to introduce them. So I'll introduce myself. I should have done that before. I'm Bo Freeman, North American Marketing Manager. I cover the residential marketing, and I'm hosting today. And I also have Johnny Safford on. Johnny, you want to introduce yourself real quick?
Sure. I'm Johnny Safford, Marketing Manager on the commercial side for Johnson Controls. Been here for about 7 months already. That seems a little quick, but yeah, I've been in the security industry as a dealer. Worked on the marketing side there as well, but yeah, I've been in the industry for about 8 years, so I'm still a baby.
Oh boy, thanks, Johnny. And then we have Mike and Hiram here. Mike, Hiram, do you guys want to introduce yourselves? Just tell us a little bit about your business, how long you've been doing this, and just give us a little introduction.
Yeah, sure. I'll jump in real quick, and then Hiram, you can jump in. Name is Mike Harrison, president of Native Smart Properties. I've been in the smart home, smart alarm, smart property industry for about 22 years now. I've done a little bit of everything. I've been a dealer before with a couple different dealer programs. I've seen a lot of different business development, a lot of different equipment, manufacturing move through. And so when the planets aligned just right to jump into multifamily, it was a matter of picking the right partnerships. And Johnson Controls with the Qualsys panel is something that I've been around for many years, and so it was definitely in the hat. And so it was a great partnership to start off with, and we've had great success because of that. And the back end team, which consists of Hiram, and so leading right into Hiram, take it away.
So name's Hiram. Been in the business for about 22 years as well. Started in 2000. Originally in summer sales as a technician and moved my way up into some management spots, but also have been in the consulting and smart home device business with smart sprinklers as well. And I'm relatively new to the MDU space, was introduced to Mike a few years ago, and this is just a great space. I've very much enjoyed it. And just looking forward to what this takes us to, what the next steps with the new panel, and how we can make it a great product for the end user.
Awesome, thank you, Mike and Hiram. Mike and Hiram, really good guys. We had a call with them Friday. Very funny, very good people. We appreciate you guys being here with us today. And I don't want to forget, we've got some people in the background. We have Patrick Holtman. He's in the background, one of our amazing TAMs. He's going to be answering your questions. So if you have any questions, throw them in there. Patrick will get to them. If Patrick isn't able to get to those questions, we'll follow up afterwards and make sure your questions get answered. Sometimes we get bombarded with questions and it's just not feasible to answer all of them. So Patrick is there. Thank you for being here, Patrick. And I also wanted to recognize Curtis J. So Curtis J is our product manager for the IQ Hub. Very knowledgeable, and he's in the background as well. So any technical questions or kind of product related questions, please put them in that question section, and we've got a dedicated team they're ready to answer your questions. So I feel like I've been talking forever and we haven't even talked about the hub. So let's jump in here. So this is the IQ Hub. As you can see, it looks different from the first version of the hub that we had. It looks very similar to the IQ Panel 4. Essentially, this is an affordable version of the IQ Panel 4. And Johnny, you kind of had some thoughts here that you wanted to share with us. You wanna share that with us now?
Yeah, sure. I mean, on the commercial side, if you guys are already installing MDU, you're definitely already looking for a panel that doesn't have a camera or a microphone on it, because that's not a requirement, but something that a lot of people are consistently asking for. On that, so instead of building a panel specifically for that space, I mean, the hub is going to be good for residential. It's really custom cut for commercial applications, senior living facilities. If you're going to be doing that, anything on the senior living care space for protection, if they're running something similar to a Point Central type software. I noticed Rachel's in the chat, so I just wanted to throw that Point Central plug in there already. So hi, Rachel. But yeah, for commercial applications, it's perfect for that. And a huge benefit is taking all that stuff out just means that the cost is going to be lower for you on the back end. So, which is great.
Exactly. So thank you, Johnny. It's good to understand this is a cost down version. And so there are some of those features that we're not going to have, right? You can notice this does look like an IQ Panel 4, but you're probably noticing there's no camera there. Right? So that's one of the features that's not there. And you may notice there's some microphones missing as well. So some of those features are not there, but we did that with the intent to, for those specific business use cases. But then what that does is that drives the cost down for everybody. And Johnny mentioned that this is a great panel for commercial. This is a great panel for every single application as well. And we're going to dive into that a little bit more here. So we're just going to kind of run through the features. We want to make sure you understand what Hub has and what it doesn't have. So with the IQ Hub, you're going to continue to have that extremely powerful, robust 8-core processor. We didn't slow it down. We didn't take anything out from under the hood. It's still capable and powerful of doing the computations that it needs to do. You're going to continue to have that LTE, that simultaneous LTE and Wi-Fi dual path. So the panel is connected via LTE as well as Wi-Fi. So it is always connected, always securing your customers' homes and securing those things that matter the most. You're going to continue to have a beautiful 7-inch touchscreen. You're going to continue to have the Bluetooth touchless disarming. That's something that sets us apart. That's something that we love. That's a feature that's still built in, and you're still going to be able to do the live view, live answer with your cameras on the panel. So still have a lot of those features. Got to note that panel camera and microphones are gone. Speakers, so this does have, you can see kind of here through the picture, you've got your 2 speakers here. So it's less speaker powered than what is on the IQ Panel 4. But Curtis, you may need to correct me. I believe it is an upgrade from the previous IQ Hub, the speaker set that we have in here. So Curtis, if I'm wrong, correct me there.
And Bo, if you could double check with Curtis as well on the Ethernet, it still is able to accept the Ethernet card or the addition.
Yeah, Curtis, any insight onto that?
Hey, yeah, let me find my mute button here. It has 1 speaker and 1 piezo behind that speaker grill. Rather than 4 speakers like the IQ4 has, it's got 1 speaker for the text-to-speech, live answer, and things like that, and then 1 piezo for your siren tones. It does have an SRF card slot, so it can accept an Ethernet card. Although you're limited down to 1 security RF and 1 Ethernet if you put that card in.
And Curtis, I may need some clarification on the microphones here, because somebody, Kevin here said no microphone. Does that mean you can't speak to the doorbell? There are microphones. Correct me if I'm wrong, Curtis. There is a microphone on IQ Hub.
Yeah, there is 1 microphone, so you can speak to the doorbell for live view and live answer.
Perfect. Awesome. Thank you, Curtis, for clarifying that. Yeah, Kevin, we're going to talk a little bit more about the live view, live answer here in a minute. Perfect. So we'll kind of move on here to this next slide. So very important to understand, as Curtis just kind of mentioned, this is a single SRF. So you've got to choose your version. In the past, like Panel 4, you have the dual SRF where you have Power G with your other radio frequency. So here you're going to have to choose your version. So Mike, what version are you guys going to be using when you're using IQ Hub and IQ Panel 4?
Yeah, so early on in our thought process, we wanted to try to stick as much as possible to one manufacturer and build that relationship, intimately as we go through the whole process. And so when we came out the gate, Power G was a big look-see, but just from our situation, we don't need the distance that Power G allows us to get to. 319.5 was the one that we settled on because, S-Line is great. Plus the availability has been there for a long time. And so we zeroed in on the 319.5.
Beautiful. Awesome. Thanks, Mike. And that's kind of the beauty of this, of choosing your flavor, right? Is that you can choose the panel that fits your needs, right? So Mike in the MDU space, they don't need the distance of power G. So the 319 works perfectly. And that's what we continue to strive to do, is to provide you with a product that you can customize to the needs of your individual customer. So thank you, Mike, for sharing that with us.
The Power G has been great. There's been several instances that we do need that Power G. So being able to have that in, the IQ2, and then when we went over to the IQ4, having that ability to have those peripherals to use that Power G in those situations has been great, without having to come up with a completely different panel and reteach something completely different to the customer. It's the same panel. We're able to then add a little bit different hardware to it.
Awesome. Great. Thank you, Mike. Johnny, anything I missed here that you'd like to add on the radio frequencies?
No, I think you covered it. It's just, I mean, the diversity to be able to do all this from a basic panel, from your entry level panel, I think that's pretty remarkable, to be able to grab anything pretty much off the shelf and use that. If you're happy with a specific peripheral line, and all of us are, you can stick with it and it'll function properly. So that's a huge thing.
Beautiful. Thanks, Johnny. Great. So very important to understand, inside of the IQ Hub, we still have ZWave Plus. Right, so you still have the possibility for all of the different automation features. You're still going to be able to, with those automation features in alarm.com, set your rules, set your scenes, do all of those things. It still has all of that capability. It's still powerful. It's still great. It's still inside of there, the ZWave. And Mike, what's your experience been with the IQ platform and ZWave devices?
Yeah, I mean, so we use a lot of ZWave devices, from the alarm.com thermostats to the Yale locks that we've chosen as our partners. So the ZWave has to be very focused in on it. I mean, it's a major part of our side. We want to make sure that the connection is always strong with ZWave, and so we look at the most secure side of it being the ZWave platform, and being able to look at the partnerships that we have with alarm.com already. As a Point Central dealer, Johnny mentioned that earlier. So we look at the alarm.com and use the alarm.com thermostat extensively. And that being ZWave is just a good partnership for the panel that we're using.
Great. Thank you, Mike. Johnny, Hiram, any other input questions around ZWave? Nope, all good. Okay, we covered it. I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything. Awesome. So the question earlier about the live view, live answer. So on IQ Hub, you're still going to be able to view your cameras, your video doorbells, and you're still going to be able to do the live answer with the video doorbell. It's still there. It's great. It's a great feature that everybody loves, right? It's a great selling point to be able to go to your customer and be like, hey, look, you'll be able to pull up all of these cameras on screen, be able to see what's going on in your home, be able to see who's at the doorbell. If you're making dinner or something and somebody comes to the doorbell, your phone's not there, you run to the panel and see who's there. And I got to do another little plug for IQ Wi-Fi 6, right? So IQ Hub is compatible with IQ Wi-Fi 6. So keeping those cameras connected and getting the best out of the cameras that you're installing in people's home, making sure that your customers have a really good experience with it, that's huge. And it's huge that we're able to keep this feature even in our, like Johnny was saying, even in our entry level panel. So that's a feature that's still going to be there as well. Bluetooth touchless disarming. I don't know about you guys, but I love this feature. I have a daughter. She's almost 2 years old. I don't know how many months she is. She's almost 2 years old, and so I love knowing that when my wife and I go to the grocery store or something, we're coming back home, my hands are full of groceries, she's carrying the baby, that my phone is just going to disarm the system. The door's going to unlock. It's going to make it easy for us to get inside of the home. I absolutely love that feature, and I know a lot of people do as well. So this is a great selling point, a great feature to offer to your customers. Say, hey, look, we know everybody's busy, everybody's got stuff going on. We have these smartphones in our pocket. Let's do smart things and connect it to our smart home. So great feature when selling to customers. Johnny, any other input? Anything else I missed there?
No, just I've had a Qualys panel in my house for 5 years at this point. I've never disarmed it ever, and it's on all the time, which is that's a pretty cool thing to say. I'll arm it walking out the door. I can set a scene. I know I should be up to date more on my alarm.com scene setting, but yeah, set it when I go out the door. I never disarm it when I come back, which is pretty cool.
Great, thanks, Johnny. And then leveraging Bluetooth still, the feature that we introduced with the IQ Panel 4 was the Bluetooth music streaming. You're going to continue to have that Bluetooth music streaming on the IQ Hub. It's great for family dance parties, right? Everybody loves to be able to stream music. And it's, something that kind of consumers expect, right? With so many different products and devices that have the capability of Bluetooth music streaming, it's just another feature to offer them to get them excited about their security panel. So another great feature that's still going to be included. And then easy installation, right? So we're still going to have the smart mount, the install wizard, the on-screen diagnostics, and more. That's still all a part of the IQ Hub. And so, Hiram, I know you deal a lot with installation. You're the operations guy. What's your experience been like when installing the IQ platform?
So coming from when I first started with the Lynx REN, if everybody remembers what that panel was, and how hard it was to program a sensor, and the messes, the mistakes. The install wizard has been actually more of a dream come true when it comes to accuracy and programming your sensors using the QR codes, the step-by-step. It really makes it flawless so that you don't have issues with sensors not being programmed properly. It's been very much it helps flow everything, makes it faster and easier for the installers.
That's great, and that's important for you, right? Like especially in the MDU space, you guys probably throwing in lots of panels, right? Like it's important to be able to like efficiently get stuff installed. Is that a fair assessment?
Our business because of volume, and so we have to have efficiency. It has to be done right the first time or not at all. And so we've had very few problems in regards to how our systems have been set up, having them work properly. It's been very much appreciated.
That's awesome. That's great. Thank you, Hiram. And I think that translates into, if you're doing a residential install, right? Like you want to get in there as efficiently and as quickly as possible so that customer has a very positive experience so that when they think of their alarm guy, they think, oh yeah, these guys come out here, they get stuff done timely. I'm not waiting forever for them to get anything. I can go out and run my own. I think that's huge. I think it's very important. So thank you, Hiram, for sharing your insight. I don't really see that side of it, so we appreciate you sharing that with us. So now we've talked about kind of the features. I wanted to shift into kind of some marketing now, some sales and marketing. So yesterday I hopped on the internet and I was reading an article from the Harvard Business Review. It was by this guy, Rafi Mohammed. And he talks about the good, better, best strategy. And I'm sure we're all really familiar with the good, better, best strategy, right? It's kind of everywhere. You look at automobiles, you have your different trims, your entry-level trim to your higher-level trim. It's providing more options to customers. And I love this quote that he said in that article. He said, a low-price good offering can make a product accessible to more customers. So really what we wanted to do was make this product more accessible to more individuals, right? So you can increase your volume, so you can sell more. And offering a good, better, best strategy does a lot. I think there's a lot of psychological aspects that go into this, right? You're able to satisfy the needs of price-sensitive customers, but then you're also able to offer a superior panel to those that don't care, that want the best of the best. So a good, better, best strategy. I think that the IQ Hub allows you to kind of build that strategy better. And I know a lot of you probably already have some sort of bundles, good, better, best bundles and things like that. But now we're offering another panel to kind of help reach price-sensitive customers and sell higher-end panels to higher-end customers. And Mike, I know you guys kind of do a little bit of this. Do you want to speak a little bit about your good, better, best strategy?
Yeah, we don't do a good, better, best strategy.
Oh,
our mentality is a little bit different, right? We want to go in there, and because it is a rental type setting, we want to go in there and tell them what the best equipment package is going to be for that particular unit. If it's a first floor unit, we're going to want the one that has more security features. So we're going to want the one with the camera and the glass break and all the bells and whistles. And then on the upper floor, we're going to go with a more basic unit that still has the look and feel of that higher end unit, but it doesn't completely look any different. And so the resident, to them, they just think it's the same 7-inch type panel by the manufacturer. And so there's no real difference from just a quick glance at the hardware. That way it keeps all their revenue, being the property revenue, uniform and what they're going to ask for, because different from single family, our revenue streams very thin. And so we want to make sure that we have, like Hiram said, a very efficient installation, packaging, kit, everything ready. So when the installer's on site doing his thing, It's very quick and easy and affordable for our end. And that translates to just a really affordable package to the property as well. So.
Beautiful. Thank you, Mike. Sorry. Thank you for correcting me. I apologize.
No, it's
Assuming
just,
you had that.
there's so many different ways to throw it out there. You know, our mind frame is to really take control of the situation, where a home could be completely different. You know, they could have that type of mentality of showing them different packages built across different panels for affordability. Ours is mainly just for use, what we're going to use.
Beautiful. Awesome. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate you sharing that input with us. Johnny, any other insight into good, better, best? Anything I missed that you would like to add?
No, actually, I had a comment on the programming side of things when I was talking about that as well, how easy things have become. I'm like a dumb sales guy. So the fact that I was able to install Mike Walsh's panel in 5 minutes, it literally took, I think, 15 minutes, start to finish. Once it was programmed, signals were sent, everything was done. But one funny thing that we kind of miss on that, if you're doing MDU, you're doing 200 units, setting that panel up and being able to name the doors, that seems like such an insignificant thing. But I had a friend who had an alarm that we had set up, my last company had set up, and a window sensor was tripping, and he didn't know what window sensor it was for years. And he lived with it because it was called window like 22. How many window 22s have you guys looked for to try to figure out which window is window 22? Testing a million. So even that silly little thing of like Timmy's bedroom and being able to know that that's exactly where it's at. So little things like that have kind of cut time on the technical issues on installation. Those are a big deal. But yeah, for this, the good, better, best piece, it is nice to be able to offer people two options. I'm a guitar player. Anybody who plays the guitar, if there's anybody in the chat, will know this. Gibson guitar brands are very, very dear guitars. They're very expensive. They have a cheaper line called the Epiphone line. It's basically the same looking guitars made overseas, a little cheaper to make those guitars, and they're priced at an affordable range. And as far as Mike was saying, somebody will see both panels on the wall and not know internally one's going to be way more valuable than the other. You're still getting the same user experience. That's kind of what we were going for, that same Gibson and Epiphone type experience. You're not getting the $6,000 guitar, but you didn't pay for it. So
awesome. Great example. Thank you, Johnny. I just saw a question in the chat that I need to address. Thank you, Brian, for bringing this to my attention. This is the IQ Panel 4. The IQ Hub, to my knowledge, is not compatible with the base. I could see how this would be misleading. So IQ Hub can't use the base, but you can still use the Bluetooth music streaming. I apologize. They look so similar. I didn't even think about that. So thank you, Brian, for asking that clarifying question and helping us kind of get that clarified. Great. So we've kind of talked about features, kind of some marketing aspects of it. Now we want to talk verticals, right? We do have an MDU guest on here, right? And we've seen that the IQ Hub is a beautiful application for the MDU space, but we wanted to show that this product can be used in other verticals. So, I mean, everything we've kind of talked through, we've been focused on residential. So it's a great panel for the residential offering, a price sensitive consumer, which, I mean, hey, in today's climate, that's more and more relevant. We're more
Mm-hmm.
sensitive with kind of the things that are going on. So being able to come in and offer this product that has the live view live answer. I would assume most of your customers are probably wanting cameras and probably wanting video doorbells. And, you can come after me in the questions if I'm wrong on that assumption, but I would assume most of them are. And so having that ability to do the live view live answer on a more affordable panel is a great fit. The diagnostics, as Hiram and Johnny just spoke, how important it is to get it right the first time, get it right before you leave. So you still have those kind of same diagnostics that are on the IQ Panel 4. The intuitive UI, we just expect that, right? If on tablets and things that have screens, the UIs that are in front of us, we expect the touch and swipe. We expect it to feel like our phone. And in the Bluetooth touches and something, you guys already know how much I love that feature. So a great fit in the residential space. Another vertical where this is a phenomenal fit is in the wellness space, right? You have individuals that are caring for parents, giving them an option for a more affordable panel so that it isn't as difficult to be able to take care of mom and dad and make sure they're okay. You get the notifications, the ability for the wellness sensors, and then that wellness specific UI for the elderly that are using it. So you can plug it right into wellness as well. And then we have two other verticals here. I'm going to let Johnny kind of speak to SMB and MDU. So Johnny, I'll let you take it away.
yeah, well, Mike will speak to the MDU side. He's a little bit more well versed than I am on that. But On the small business side, it's the perfect panel for your pizza place, your cafes, and a lot of folks are going to be walking into these cold. This is a pretty easy panel to do a cold sale, walking into a small retail store that just opened up, showing them what the panel is, how it functions, what it does, functionality, and being able to install a system that's pretty robust for a small business. And it's super cost effective, which a lot of small businesses are really focused on. So depending on how you do your business, if you're financing these accounts or if you're doing, having a payment plan over a specific amount of time, this is a much more affordable way for them to get into an intrusion system that makes sense for them at a cost-effective rate. And they're not going to be looking for things like panel cameras. And if they are, we have that in the quiver as well. So it's a great option.
Did I move forward too soon, Johnny? Are you good on SMB?
Yeah. Mike knows the MDU space better than anybody I know.
Yeah, I mean, from the MDU space, I mean, we started working and looking at MDU from 2017 and then just evolving it to today. Native started during COVID. And so we needed an equipment manufacturer that was reliable, that had, roots in our business. And my mind frame comes from more the security industry, more so than home automation. And so with our competitors out there in the MDU space, a lot of them come from the home automation standpoint, without the security features, without the reliability and the communication standards, and they use subpar equipment. And so because of that, they're having major issues with just the management being able to utilize the equipment, where we seem to not, knock on wood, have those issues because we're using a reliable brand that's been tested versus a startup that's trying to get inventory out there when chipsets are very hard to get. And so for the MDU space, it's great for us to go and take an equipment package that has a lot of history in the home security space, has the ability to extend past home automation into home security, and give them that sense of awareness as well. And so it all fit into where we have to take an equipment package and stack to that prospective customer and describe that in comparison to everything else that's out there. And Qualsys has been able to give us that leg up. So it's been a good start.
That's awesome. That's very insightful. Thanks, Mike. You said it better than Johnny and I could have.
Yeah, I'm glad it's recorded because I won't ever be able to say that again. So you can clip that and use that however you want. So
that's great. So we've kind of talked through the features, kind of the vertical application. So Mike and Hiram, I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of time to speak to kind of how you guys are going to adopt the hub, what you're excited about, really kind of anything you want to say to the group here.
Well, I mean, I'll let Hiram talk from more of a field standpoint, but from a business standpoint, we're going to adopt the hub pretty much as soon as we can start getting it into our inventory. We have two sides of our business, one of them being the new build construction side. So that's why that Ethernet port is important to us, is that when we're designing, we have our own specialized team that sits down with the builders and go over everything that's included with their specs. And then on the retro side as well, it's really good for us to have that capability to come in and know how to install a panel, because it's done very commonly in the home security space. And so it allows us to get that panel into circulation quickly and be able to look at a more economical, more profit saving, to be honest with you. Once we start looking at the numbers behind it, there's not going to be that much savings to the customer, but there's going to be more savings to us. That's where we are as far as just the pricing. Because of our agreements, we sometimes get behind on the way inflation and everything else is going. And so having a more economical hardware for not that much of a difference experience to the customer is a good step for us. Now we'll beat up our sales guy, Ernest. He's a good guy. We're going to beat him up quite heavily whenever we start looking at the pricing. But it's definitely something that we had some experience when the IQ3 was out there, and being able to use that for the same reason. So that's what we're kind of looking for this IQ4 hub to be at the same time for us.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. Using that panel with a lower creation cost, but still extremely high value. the end user doesn't realize that they're missing out on a camera on the screen that not even for remote viewing anyway, because of the certain laws. So we're decreasing the worries, we're decreasing some of the questions and potential future service calls with, in my opinion, a better valued panel. It's a rather win-win for us because our service is going to be lower, but margins will be better because it's a better creation cost for us. So there's no real loss here. It's a win-win for us. We're very excited about this.
Beautiful. Thank you guys. Just beautifully put. Thank you so much for your guys' insight. So that we're kind of through the presentation here. I'm going to do one last poll, and then I'm going to ask Mike for a number so we can do our giveaway. So do this last poll for us, and then we will jump into the giveaway. So I'm going to launch that now. So we just want to know, now that you've learned about the IQ Hub, what are the next steps for you? Are you sold? Are you ready to go to distribution to buy? Do you need your sales rep to reach out to you? We've got a very talented group of sales guys. And if you have questions or things that we did not address, we would love to get you in touch with this. If you answer, I would like a salesperson to contact me. Myself and Will Hackett will be reaching out to you individually and getting you in touch with your sales rep. So if that's something you want, please hit that. You'd like a salesperson to contact me. And if you're still considering it, hit that one as well. So I'll give you guys another 10 seconds to kind of wrap up this poll. Awesome. Seems like we've got a lot of people that are very excited about IQ Hub. So thank you, Mike and Hiram, for helping us get people excited. Thank you, Johnny, as well. Mike, I need a number between 1 and 250. What do you think?
Wow.
Let's go with Hiram's birth year, 75. Let's go with the old guy right there, his birth year, 75.
75. Okay. Looking at number 75 is Fleming Mayhoff. Fleming, you are not a JCI employee, I believe. We've done that in the past. Let me see your email. I don't believe you are. Fleming, congratulations. You won a panel. We will be reaching out to you to get your information and get you a prize pack. And then also everybody that answered all the poll questions, we'll go through and kind of sort through those and find out who won that as well. So thank you guys so much. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Hiram. Thank you, everybody, for joining. This webinar will be posted to YouTube afterwards. We appreciate you guys taking time out today, and thank you.
You bet.
Thank
Thanks
you.
both. Thanks, Johnny.
All right.
Appreciate it. Thanks for the opportunity. Thanks, guys.
Awesome. Take care, everyone.